All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are, another episode of BOPCAST. Today, we have a Zoom call. It's a little bit difficult sometimes, when they got a lot going on. We're all in different places. You got a show coming up in about 2.5 hours too. So it's like sometimes you just got to rip the Zoom call, man. But today, I'm actually doing an intro on this one. The last two episodes, I didn't even like intro. It just kind of started, so at least I get that for this episode. But I'm here with Jason Nelson. He plays saxophone very well, and that's how I found you, actually, man. And I'm very impressed by that. But I'll probably have you go into it a little bit more. So if you want to just introduce yourself to the folks listening, tell them who you are and what you do.
Of course, man. Thanks so much for having me. So I'm Jason. I'm about to be 25 this coming weekend, Sunday. Shout out to my birthday. Thanks. Shout out to my birthday on Jets-Giants game.
Didn't even realize that. Oh, shit.
Unfortunately, the Jets are probably going to lose on my own birthday, but it is what it is. But,
I used to watch – when I was watching sports, I was a Giants fan. So, okay, word up. Sounds good to me.
It is what it is. I'm a fan. As you can see in the background, I got my Mets flag.
Oh, I see.
Fan of losing teams. I feel like that defines me a little bit. I've been a Mets, Jets, Nets, and Rutgers football fan for as long as I can remember.
Once Gary V buys the Jets, though, shit will turn around.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That's it.
But it's been a whole life of just losing season after season and hoping for the best next year. But yeah, that kind of defines my childhood. Is being obsessed with those teams and also being obsessed with Blink-182, Linkin Park, and Green Day. My three bands growing up. So I guess you could say I had a pretty normal childhood. I grew up in Hillsborough, New Jersey. Shout out to Somerset County, 08844. And yeah, lived there pretty much my whole life and went to school close by at Rutgers. I was in business school all 4 years.
A good business school. Rutgers is a solid business program, man.
Yeah, I recommend anybody who wants to get into the business world who live in state, I highly recommend Rutgers. I think I got a really, really, really good education there, and I also met some of my best friends and will be my best friends for life. I think that at some other schools, you lose that like well-rounded element. For sure. It's not as diverse, but luckily Rutgers is one of the most diverse schools in the nation.
And the music scene, too. I mean, I know you can attest to it.
Oh, yeah. I was listening last night to your podcast with Matt. It's crazy to think about how many awesome bands and musicians started out from Brunswick.
And he's from where I live, too. So, yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. So, to be honest, even though I play sax and piano, I've been doing that my whole life pretty much. I really was not involved in the underground scene at Rutgers. I consider myself a very mainstream type person. I've kind of just like gone with the flow and tried to be where the crowd is. And I was never popular, nothing like that. Mainly just like I've always been interested in what was popular. So I grew up listening, like I said, to a lot of those alternative punk rock bands, but I also really, really appreciate rap, hip-hop, EDM, and in college is when I got into EDM and rap a lot.
I feel you, dude. I didn't listen to rap. I listened to rap like 2 years before I became a rapper. Like
that's
my
crazy.
friends were listening to Eminem in like 8th grade, bro, and I started listening to rap like sophomore year, junior year of high school, so I feel you.
Yeah, I really didn't listen. I didn't listen to full-length albums. In rap when I was younger. It would be the rock albums. It would be Linkin Park's new album. But I feel like I've always, since maybe like 7th grade, known the very popular rap songs. Like when I was in 7th grade for middle school dances, it would be Cyclone, Low by Flo Rida, Lollipop. Like all those banger hits define my like 7th, 8th grade, 9th grade childhood. And I know it's mainstream, and I know that a lot of people don't like it as much because it's just so generic and poppy. I respect it so much.
I think you got to respect it because that's not every song gets to that level, man. Only select songs. Mm-hmm. And the only reason we're judging them like that is because they're in that position,
Exactly. And like 7th grade, I didn't even mention this, but Crank That was the song.
Yep.
That was the
That was
song.
it.
That was the song.
If you were a middle school DJ and you didn't have that, we would have left. We'll leave.
Yeah. Yeah. Literally, that song that put Soulja Boy on the map. And I feel like I haven't even thought about this till now, but I feel like it's kind of a similar situation to like an Old Town Road. Like it defined.
Yeah, dude.
Lil Nas X a
Imagine
little bit.
that's theirs, man.
Yep.
As much as I don't want it to, and I want to preface with saying like, and I want you to keep going with your bio too, but just we have a unique perspective. I'm a DJ, you're a saxophonist, and you're not. It's not like I don't think you play sax in a jazz band right now. I'm pretty sure you do a lot of like
Definitely
weddings
not.
and things like that, right? So you're playing to these songs, and
Yep.
these songs like you said, low, yeah, 3 times, like all those, like you're playing sax to those songs even now. They're timeless, basically, right? They're timeless party songs, and so like we also have that unique perspective from everybody. That was everybody's song we were in middle school, but now we're in the industry that relies on those songs like
Exactly.
in a specific way. So I just wanted to, as an aside, just to throw that in there.
Of course, you need to have the mainstream stuff in your crates, and that's why it's always been easy for me to kind of play what people relate to, because for some reason I love playing what people can relate to and reach as many people as possible through my music rather than a select few in a
It's
deeper
about the
way.
masses, man. It's about
Yeah,
the large amount of people.
that's just who I am. So anytime I've ever made a cover video, it's been on, I think, what song is popping? What song will people
I
really
did that
comment
with
and go,
remixes too, man. I did that with rap for
exactly.
remixes. Yep.
That's what can go viral. And it's not like I ever tried to go viral or anything like that. It's just I like playing what other people are going to know, whether, where other musicians, a lot of them want to play something that showcases their talent. I don't really think about that too much. I kind of just do my own thing.
Dude, that's interesting though, because if you went to a party and you were playing the sax, like, and then just like playing your own songs, like people would be like, yeah, he's really good, but like I don't have no idea what he's playing.
Right.
Like you wouldn't get the crowd in it at
Nope.
all.
No,
So
and
when you
that's
hire a drummer for like you've been at the weddings with the drummers too. They're
yep.
not just like they could drum their own beats, but they're drumming to the beat of the Chris Brown song or whatever.
Yep.
Same.
Exactly. And that's why back at Rutgers, when I would pick up the sax, it would be every now and then. Piano, I definitely played more because I took a few classes. I did a certificate also in recording arts, which was part of Mason Gross, the music school. So I was always on the campus that had all the different practice rooms. So I played the piano about once to 3 times a week. So I still played a lot of piano.
I saw you on the piano on your story too. You ripped that, man. Yeah.
Thanks, man. Yeah, piano I would say is probably my more favorite instrument to play. I don't really have to set it up, and you can't really set. If you have a good piano, you can't sound bad on it if you know how to play it. Whereas with the saxophone, your reed alignment and everything's got to like be perfect, or else it's not going to sound how you want. And for me, there's no better feeling than sitting down at like a nice hotel or I don't know, a nice concert hall and like sneaking in and playing a beautiful Steinway piano that's like $40,000 and hearing how that sounds and ripping like, I don't know, some Ed Sheeran song. And that's what makes me happy. I will play any piano I ever see. I ask to play. That's just always been me.
I want to get into, so obviously, like, I think people are painting the picture in their heads of what you do now, but is this a side business? Is this what you do full time? How do we hire like, do you get hired? Is it just word of mouth? Like what's the structure around what you're doing with the saxophone?
Sure. Should I start at the beginning on how it kind of happened?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. Sure.
Cool. So I've had back probably my senior year in college, so 2017, or maybe even 2016 was the first time that I started putting out cover videos on Instagram. I started making, I think I had a channel called Jason Piano Covers, did that for a little bit. Every video looked the same, very, very low quality, when Instagram was only 15-second videos. And then I moved on and was like, you know what, I'm gonna do Jason sax covers. So I did those. Same kind of thing with popular songs that people would know. Then I got a full-time job after I graduated, and I kind of stopped. And then about 6 months later, picked it up again for piano and really did a bunch a week because I bought myself a nice keyboard from Guitar Center with a pedal and everything. I would make about 3 or 4 a week, but I wasn't really seeing a huge lift on my following. And I realized now that it was probably because a lot of my videos looked exactly the same. And I wasn't really telling people who I was. I was just trying to be the next, I don't know if you know Connor Maynard or some of these like very famous YouTube stars who have millions and millions of followers making professional videos. That's what I thought I wanted to do, and really grow that. But, I'm kind of lazy when it comes to the technology. So I never got all the expensive equipment to record. Bottom line is that one of my friends, about 2 years ago, I would say, reached out to me because her sister was getting married. And they both follow me. They follow my Instagram, and they love what I would post about my piano covers. And they're like, how would you like to play Cocktail Hour piano for Melissa's wedding? So I'm like, sure. So that's when I was like, you know what? I got to practice more. I'm going to buy myself a keyboard. So I did that. Put together a set list, and then back this past March, did that gig, and they knew that I also played the sax too. So because of that, they told me, you know what, the DJ is kind of interested in hearing you, so how about you do the intro to our wedding? You could play Jubel. It's a house song that has like a crazy sax riff intro. So for their wedding, Melissa and John, I got to walk down the spiral staircase at the Palace in Somerset Park, and I was the intro to their wedding on the sax right after I did Cocktail Hour piano. And then from there,
wait, I want to stop you. How did that feel?
Yeah, of course. That felt like something I've never done before. It was such an interesting experience, and I forget if we talked about this on the phone, but I've posted about this, and I get the same feeling now when I play the sax. And when you're the center of attention, or at least when I feel like I'm at the center of attention, I black out in a way. And it's really fucking weird. Can I curse, by the way?
As much as you want.
Okay.
Unlimited.
Word. So it's really fucking weird. I don't know how it happens, but when I'm in the moment and I'm in the zone and people have their eyes on me, I like close my eyes and I don't even know what's going on, and I make something up and it somehow works. And that's exactly
it's a weird thing, isn't it? Like,
yeah, like
it's you can't really put your finger on it, and you won't know, because I think that most of the people, and I don't want to hijack this, but I think that most of the people in a situation where they think oh my God, like having 500 eyes on me, like while I'm doing what I'm doing, like that would make me so nervous. Whereas in that situation, when you realize like, no, these people want me to be as good as I possibly can, and then you deliver that, and it's obvious in the moment, like even as a DJ, like I'm just talking, right? And even that feeling itself of creating a moment just from words, I'm not even playing the music. Like I'm playing other people's music. You're playing, like you're actually doing it. Like it's something else, right, man? You can't put your finger on it.
I know it's really weird. And if you watch, I don't really have a good video of me walking down that staircase, but there was 250 people at this wedding, and I could have, because I'm a very goofy, awkward person, I could have tripped and fell and wouldn't have ruined the whole wedding, but everybody would remember, oh yeah, do you remember that short sax kid who fell when Melissa and John were walking in?
Man, he was so good, and then he yeah.
So that's something that would happen to me, but it didn't. And then right after that, I felt comfortable, and I wasn't invited to the wedding, but they made me feel comfortable. So I basically just went on stage and was there pretty much the whole time, just playing with the DJ. And I thought it was the coolest thing, because at a wedding, before that, I hadn't been to many in my life. I had only been to maybe 4 of, relatives and whatnot. And I didn't realize that the songs are all my favorite songs of all time. It's classics, going from the 50s, 60s, 70s to like pop music to today, and it's cool. And a lot of those songs,
Careless Whisper, come on.
of course. I mean,
Is that not what is that in your top 3 to play with with the song? Like, is that in your that's number 1? Yeah, it has to be, man. That's because of that. How often do people say, "What's that one song?" And they're talking about that song to you.
All the time.
Every wedding, probably, I bet, yeah.
Every wedding I try. I even just posted on my Instagram. I played last night at an open mic. But yeah, no, that song I can go on and on about, just because it's so requested. A lot of people don't even know who it's by, or they go, "Oh yeah, it's by Kenny G." I'm like, no, it's actually not.
No, who is it by?
George Michael.
George Michael. Okay, because I did listen to it the other day after you posted a video, and I said, I need to listen to that song because I don't play it DJing much. It's maybe once or twice, but I don't think maybe. Yeah, tops, but yeah.
It's kind of slow, but like it's good when you have a saxophonist ripping it.
Exact.
Yeah. No. So, oh yeah.
So you have that gig.
So I did that
from there. Yeah.
And was like, holy shit, I can do this. I've never played these songs before, but I should also tell you, you in the audience, that one of the reasons I've gotten to where I've gotten as a musician is because of my ear. So I have perfect pitch, which basically means I didn't know it when I was younger. I kind of had to find out from a music teacher in like 2nd grade or something. And she called me up in front of the class because she knew that I somewhat knew what I was talking about. And she had me face the students, and then she would play a note on the piano, and I wouldn't look. I was facing the students, and I would be able to say what it was. And then from that moment on, I would play 4th grade is when everybody got recorders, and I would play the songs on the recorder that we would be singing. Like the recorder songs that we learned are like Hot Cross Buns, Mary Had a Little Lamb, but I would be playing like the more advanced songs that are definitely not taught on the recorder. And people would be like, how are you doing this? And I didn't know. I couldn't explain it. But my perfect pitch ability has allowed me and has given me the gift of playing by ear. So I can hear a song if I know it, if I know the words, how the melody goes, and I've listened to it enough times, I'll be able to just do it.
Yeah, I want to relate this to guitar. I've been playing guitar for a long, long time, and it's easier now than it was, but it's still very difficult to try to replicate that. Like it takes me a while.
And that's okay.
Yeah, no, and I just want to get the comparison of like, you can say like I have perfect pitch, and some people might just not really like understand the value or like the weight of that. Like it's crazy. Like it's a different thing. Like so I don't know. I'm just kind of curious of like your thoughts about it. Is it, do you think you were just born with that, or like born with that type of ear? Because I had to train my ear, and I'm on like 10 years of training my ear throughout different instruments and different styles of music. And I could do it a little bit like it, but it takes a lot of conscious effort for me, I guess is what I'm saying. So what's your thoughts on that?
So I've watched a bunch of videos on it, and what I've kind of learned is that you need to have you're born with the ability to obtain it if you're born with it, but you need to have that training as a young kid, like in your early stages of life. I forget the exact age, but
yeah,
you need to have the foundation of this is a C note, this is a D note, and be able to have the foundation with chords and chord progressions.
So without that class, do you think you could have realized it later, but was that the facilitator?
Yeah. So luckily, and I'm blessed that my parents, from a very, very young age, got me listening to classical music, Mozart, Beethoven, Brahms, all that kind of stuff. And I definitely do not listen to it anymore. And I definitely have grown out of the phase of very technical music. But when I was much younger, I would sit on my, little Yamaha keyboard, and I would go through every single one of the songs that was on there. And most of them were classical. And I would just, learn from the best ever to do it in, 17, 1800s. And I think from that ability, I was able to later in life learn more and more and more. But I, in years, in probably the past 6 years or so since I graduated high school, my ability has gone down a little bit, and not playing by ear, but deciphering a few pitches between each other. Like, I need to actively think about it now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because I don't read music anymore. And I don't often, I'm not often studying music or music theory as I used to be a lot more invested when I did it for a class in high school.
So there's like probably like a maintenance level you have to have.
Yes. And I've just been lazy to get back into it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's still so interesting though, that like even if you could just like maintain it at a certain level, then you have like the perfect pitch just like stays with. That's just so crazy to me, man. But to get back to where you were at, I think you were at like kind of what was the gig? Was there a following gig after that first?
Yeah.
Wedding then?
So it just so happened that one of my friends found in the Hillsborough Mom to Moms group. Every town's got that.
Need that.
She saw that a woman's dad, unfortunately, had just passed away, and the dad played the sax, and they were looking for someone to play at the funeral repast for even just like 30 minutes, 40 an hour, whatever, just to play a few songs to really uplift the mood of everybody and remember the man that he was. So that was very soon after my first gig, and I was kind of on a high from my first gig.
Yep.
And then I had my mom comment on that post, and then I got booked for it. And you went to RV, so you might know it, Raritan Valley Country Club.
Yep. Went past it a bunch of times.
Yeah, so it was really nice. So I had 2 gigs within 6 days of each other, which is really cool. And then after that, I had my girlfriend take her dad's professional camera, go out to a park and shoot some shots of me in my suit. So I really wanted to grow my Instagram more and position myself as a live event performer for both piano and sax. So that was probably about April. During that time, I grew it more and was using hashtags. So a guy, Armando, from Staten Island reached out to me because he was in a wedding band that also does other private events and festivals, and they were looking for a sax guy. So talked to him on the phone, met with him at Rutgers for like a mini audition, and then I was in a band. I was in the R3 Brothers band, and I've done a bunch of gigs with them since. Awesome guys. It's like a 9-piece band, and that has been so much fun. So those were my first few gigs were from them. Had some, side things in between, a few of my own clients. But then my biggest outreach has been over the past 4 or 5 months, DJ companies. So
we have a vendor list. Like that's like, if you could get on a vendor list for a DJ company, you're right. Yeah.
Exactly. So
and I'm going to put you on ours too, by the way. So
dude, I appreciate it.
Yeah. Anytime, man.
I'm trying to perform as much as possible. So my strategy was I would grow my Instagram, and then I would message on Instagram because that comes more naturally to me than sending an email or, picking up the phone and calling. So I would give a little sales pitch to all these different DJ companies around the area that I would find through Instagram. And I would see they're doing awesome stuff. And I would tell them I would love to play at your event and bring live sax to spice up your next event. And I really did not get many no's. I'm not going to lie. And it worked out really well. And now I have a solid 4 or 5 foundations with larger DJ companies around the area.
That's fucking it, man. Fuck. People want to complicate this shit. It ain't complicated at all.
It picked up so
It's just send the goddamn messages on Instagram. Listen, if the company doesn't,
Gary V method.
It's Gary V. If the company doesn't hire you, what do? If you call them, they're not calling you back. You email, then you shoot them the Instagram. There's always, it could be that simple.
Mm-hmm. It really.
And all you did was have the balls to write the message and click send.
Exactly. I figured I have nothing else to lose. And And at that time, and I'm still technically not doing it for the money, because every event that I do, I absolutely fucking love it. Nothing makes me happier
The
right
money is
now
nice,
than
right?
playing
It's a
at a wedding.
perk. See, when you do what you
It's
like to do,
awesome.
the money is just a perk.
So I've been trying to get booked as much as possible. I also, something that helped a lot was an entertainment company in Paramus, Magic Moments. Shout out to Magic Moments. I found out they were hosting a DJ networking event, and I'm like, I'm not really a DJ. I did a little stuff in college, messed around, made a few mixes, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go and I'm gonna talk and meet as many DJs as I can. And I met some awesome guys, and a bunch of those guys I'm still in contact with, and they're looking to book me. And
It's not your network is your net worth, right?
network,
Yeah.
100%. So I've connected with a bunch of them, and my not timeline, whatever it's called, news feed, Insta stories on Instagram now every single weekend, instead of seeing, I still see them like drunk friends in Hoboken going out. I see like it'll be wedding, sweet 16, sweet 16.
Yeah,
Like
and
that's
you're lucky
all
you
I
see
see now
mine too.
because
See, I'm at a gig. We're both at gigs, and I know you see me, and it's just a DJ thing with like 100 kids, and I see yours.
Exactly.
I
And
see
it's
yours
fucking
just,
hype.
and I'm just like, dude, that's it. That's the grind, yo. Let
It
these
is.
kids, hey, everybody's got to do. They bust their ass during the week, sure, like so do we all do, right? But like, shit, man, it is something else to see that mutual grind, right? And I follow other DJs and DJ companies now too. It's so nice to see that, like, and Naomi too. I have to shout out
she's awesome.
Naomi for being like, first of all, I've never seen a singer who wanted to sing more. Like, honestly, I don't think. And she's been on this podcast, folks. If you're watching or listening, go check out the episode what Naomi was a few episodes ago. But like the same thing of like she's out there literally in the city with by herself a lot of the time, just singing in the subway. Right, you're out there grinding on a gig. I'm DJing. Like it's dope, man. It's so cool to see that.
It's amazing, and I really I like to think of myself a lot of the times as a perfectionist, and that's probably why now. So I'm on a high right now. I'm gonna get a little bit slow down a little bit and get to like the dark part. And that was probably
the realness. That's part of this podcast is the realness, man. We don't sugarcoat shit,
dude.
We gonna tell you. We gonna tell you what's up.
No, I want to be honest, because I want everybody that's listening to just know that it's okay to not know what you want to do. It really is. And I was so lost for so long. Not really as a person, but mainly
I'm fucking lost right now, bro.
That's okay. Dude, you're figuring
everybody's
things out.
I'm lost and I'm doing this podcast. Yeah.
Dude, exactly. Everybody goes through their own shit, and I've been told my whole life that I'm a half decent musician, and I always thought, like, am I going to be a professional musician? Am I going to be able to? But I can't pay the bills. That would be my thought process. Like, I can't do that.
Right? The can't.
Yeah, it would be that. It would be seeing people on YouTube, like I said, the professional people who get millions of views doing a cover of Justin Bieber, and I'd be like, I want to be them, but then I wouldn't put in the work, and then I would go out with my friends to like a Shore bar or like a Morristown bar and see like a 90s cover band, and I would be like, I want to do that. And then I wouldn't take any action.
You had that self-awareness though.
I wanted to do something, but I didn't know what in music it was, because I don't consider myself a great reader, and I don't consider myself great technically. So I'm like, I'm not going to be playing at Carnegie Hall. I'm not going to be a jazz musician. I don't consider myself a great teacher. So I was like, I'm not going to be a music teacher. What am I going to do in music? How do you use this ability? And then the opportunity just fucking fell in my lap. And I did not even know that live sax at like high key events like weddings, clubs, bars, I didn't know that was a thing until I did it, and then stared following others and was like, there's a market for this. There's
you don't know it until you
market,
know it, man. Everybody's nobody until there's somebody. And I want to piggyback off this too. Just as an aside, my professor today, I have a singing and songwriting class that I'm taking right now. It's supposed to be for theater, but it's really just it's kind of basically tailored towards straight up learning the song structure, and being able to write music. And my professor today took the whole class for us to find internships that
Dude, that's amazing.
one internship that is the location, your dream location, and then one internship for what you want to do in life. So you
Wow.
find 2 internships. This dude didn't have to do that. The
No.
class has nothing to do with that, but that's what it is, because he wants 1 or 2 people in the class to end up applying for them and then go do it, right? So it's like it might be just like you seeing that 90s cover band and going, that little thing ticks in your head of like, man, like I need to be grinding right now, like something. Or it's that professor that goes like, man, he's like, I think he's 39. Dude, he tried, like, he was in theater for like 13 years and made like almost no money, like just, but now he's fine, and he's like 39. So it took him, he's like, look at all this time it took me. Like, we're like 20, 21, 22 years old. Like, shit, if you're 28 years old, you still you have no obligation to be,
and that's okay,
to be in that, to be in a position where you have to be set for life or something. Everything they want to tell you is binary. They want to tell you it's always the next thing, because our whole lives are predicated on the next thing. It's always like middle school, then we're going to go to high school, then we're going to go to college, then job. Wait up.
And then what?
Doesn't have to be like that. Why can't we just see who we are right now? Like, nobody ever asks us that.
Nope.
That's my fucking rant and the rant.
Dude, I fucking love it. I love it. And that is so true for me too, because I was a very living for the weekend person. Weekend. And
it's so easy. It's so easy to be in the college culture and just absorb it.
I was in it in college. I was in a fraternity for a little bit. I ended up, stepping out of that because it was, I wasn't seeing the value too much in it anymore because I, was doing other things. But I would go to class and I would just think about partying and what I was doing after class. And all I cared about in college, like the end goal, was just to get some job. And then once you have that job that you think you wanted, it turns out to be not what you want. And then once you start doing and making money and supporting yourself, you want to be happy. And I've really, over the past 7-8 months, strived more towards happiness and not towards, building some sort of wealth. That what is money if, you're not,
if you hate making
spending it.
If you hate that too.
You want to be passionate about something. And there's different kinds of people. There's people who need to be doing what they're passionate about 24/7 in order to be happy. And then there's people who are okay with, surviving and doing something that lets them survive and live a comfortable life, while being able to do something passionate on the side. And I still have it. Getting back to your first question that we went off on the tangent.
This is a podcast.
That is something that I am currently working through.
I think it was, I was hoping that you were going to bring that up.
Of course. And it's something that my biggest fear is not doing, something that I say I'm going to do. I want to try as many things as possible. And it's something that I want to be able to look back at and say, I gave it a shot. I gave my passion and went all in 100% a shot. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Not at the current stage. I'm not ready to make that decision, but it will come. My mindset is leaning me towards that. It might not work, and I'm okay to fail, but I want to give it a shot because I'm confident enough that if I had to go back and get another job, I'm confident that anybody can get any job they want to, just by having the right connections and right network and selling yourself correctly. And
Agreed.
Yeah, I'm just
I feel you. I'm in a similar position.
Words, but
I'm in a similar position. I'm still in school, and I actually was in a position where I could have dropped out and got a salary and got commission and got a seat on the board of directors and 5% of the company, and like literally like a thing that seemed like a dream thing, right? And I haven't signed the contract, and I'm about to turn it down, and because I realize, like, for another thing that I realized is like it's so easy to take the first thing that comes too. And
Agreed.
and if you see what I'm realizing is like I gotta go on my gut feeling. And if I will hate myself forever if I didn't go on that gut feeling. If I just went for the 5%, if I just went for the money.
Yeah.
And I think and there was my boss asked me the other day, and he's a good dude, like don't get me wrong, like he's a good guy, he has a great company, like he's gonna be a millionaire and the whole nine, right? And he was like, are you even motivated by money? And I was like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't think it motivates me the same as it does with other people. I've always worked, like, luckily, I've always had pretty good bosses, and I've kind of always worked at jobs that I enjoyed. And even when I was a mechanic turning wrenches, man, like, I at least really liked the companies that I worked at, and I liked the employees I was around. And even the one company, I got spoiled. I was the only employee, right? And so I had a ton of responsibility, but it didn't stress me out because I was in such a good work environment. So like, and that, like, I would have taken a pay cut for that work environment, just to have that peace of mind. So I think to bring it back around of like, you don't have to take the first thing that comes, even no matter how good it looks. Especially if you're young, you don't have to do that because listen, another company is going to be there. Another sales position is going to be there. Another marketing job, and I can only speak for myself and what I've seen in my experiences, but that's just my take on it. And just from being in a similar position, like I'm going to stay in school and I'm going to finish the shit. And I'm probably going to start my own business and be broke for a while. Like, because,
okay.
And I'm going to do fucking wedding DJ on whatever I have to do, brother. Like, I'm going to survive below my means. I'm going to Gary V the fuck out of that. I'm a leverage. I'm going to do my shit on socials. Like, whatever it's got to be, man. But I'll take the happiness and just the peace of mind over the check all day, over the check and the stress, man.
Dude, I respect it. I feel like looking back on it, I was always and this is, making myself look bad in a way, but I was always someone that saw what people had and someone's status as
Ooh.
A matter of their character. And I've learned, I don't know how long this took me when I learned this, but it was definitely recent, that is not true. And someone's clout and status it doesn't define
I had
you.
And when you have like a nicer car than your boss, you're like, what?
Yeah, like,
but your boss is like an OG in a better position that, like, it's not about the fucking car or the followers, right? Like,
it's really not. And I was really, in college, I was really obsessed with that idea of having the perfect life. I wasn't in like I don't know, put quotations around it, best fraternity or whatever on campus, but like for some reason I looked up to those fraternities and those amazing sororities that like these people are the highest you can go, and then they're going to get the best jobs, and then they're going to move to Manhattan, and
you realize it doesn't work like that at all.
It doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work like that at all, motherfucker.
And even if those people get to where, I'm not putting anybody down, but even if those people get to where they are, maybe they're happy. And my hope is that everybody in life is happy and chases what they actually enjoy. But maybe those people on the surface are actually, unhappy. Maybe they're living a life of paycheck to paycheck, even though they make great money. Maybe they're choosing to spend it all the time.
Yeah, and obviously get like
need, but they're filling a void to make them happy. And that's why, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I do not spend. I am really fucking cheap.
You live below your means.
I live below my means, and I only spend money on things that I feel are worth it. And it's really
that's the best way to be. Because I was
shitty apartment, like,
dude. Me too. I feel even like I'm in my parents' house right now, but I do the same thing, bro. We got to, like, we could have went around the corner and went into the nicer neighborhood, and we didn't. Because it's not about the neighborhood for me, and my neighbors are fine. So like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's you don't know how it is until you get there, and then you're like, oh, this is like I'm fine. Like nobody's gonna mess with. Like I'm good, like. And yeah, shit. I don't know where I was gonna go. Oh, so I was gonna go Gary V on that shit. You might be the person, like you said, is what you basically said too, of the $40,000 a year. Like, in the 9 to 5 job, but then you get to spend your whole weekends with your family. Like you have
Exactly.
and then that's happiness for people.
That is
Like
happiness.
I can't take that. I'm not talking shit on that at all. Like, and my boss was trying to, put down college, and he graduated from college. So I was like, you can't talk shit, bro. But I actually had him on the podcast too. Really, really an interesting episode. Because his work ethic is on some other shit. But I was like, people go to college because they want to get out and get a 9 to 5 job and then get a normal life just like everybody else. And then that makes like a lot of those people are just going to be like, that's their happy. A lot of them aren't. But a lot of them are. And some of them aren't really kidding themselves, man. Like they actually just want that. Like you said, they want the picket fence, man. Like that's cool. Like I might want that. Maybe I don't really even know right now.
And that's
but, so I can't put it down. Yeah, 100%.
I like I said, I want everybody to be as happy as they possibly can be. What I'm worried about is people who are chasing the next best thing and are always trying to impress someone with something that they might not need.
You got to impress yourself. Like if buying that car, like for me, like I'm a car guy. I always tell people don't ever be a car guy. Like it's not the right thing to be. Like even be a watch guy being a watch guy is almost more practical. But for me, like there's going to be like a car that I buy when I reach a certain point, but it's going to be for me because I always wanted that car my whole life. And it's easy to tell the people that bought the car just so their boys can be, just so they can say, hey, well, look what I got, boys.
Yep.
Like
I agree.
That ain't it.
The people who are flexing on Instagram right now,
they're renting that shit. First of all, it's rented.
Shit, all the jewelry and the
rented. Ty Lopez, baby. Ty goddamn Lopez.
That whole mindset is just. The truth is, I am inherently lazy. I don't love working hard. It doesn't come as naturally to me to work hard towards something. So a few years ago when I saw all those YouTube videos, I didn't believe it, but all those YouTube videos, it's like, this is how you can make money by sitting around and doing nothing. I'm also very practical. So I knew it's
me too, yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. But I also in my head thought I would love that because that's just,
right. That's like the dream.
Just like kind of who I am. But now that I've realized the passion, I'm okay at, performing to make money because I'm enjoying it. So I would do it for free if I could. It's nice to, be able to have extra money coming in to reinvest in my business and reinvest in the equipment and everything like that I need. And it gives me, I love spending more money to, I bought a suit recently. I bought some pocket squares and, all my equipment with my
bow tie.
Mm-hmm. Got some bow ties. Yeah. Because that, obviously I'm going to need that for other events in my life, like, personal weddings or anything like that. But it just makes me happy to, look a certain way and, be confident in myself by doing that. And I'm not doing it to impress others. I'm doing it to look my very best. And if I'm trying to make someone's day as special as I can, I want to look the part and I want to stand out. Some companies, yes, there is a style that they want, it's the black on black or a black, white shirt, black tie. But, when you can, it's always awesome to be authentic. And I really love, wearing different color combinations and stuff. And
yeah, plus you're the sax guy, bro. I feel like you're supposed to be
you can be fun.
Like the DJs are supposed to be like from like black on black on black on black, like you said. Like I wish I could wear a hat, dude. Like you don't know how. Yeah, but I can't wear a hat. Like I don't know. I could. No, I actually physically could.
If you make that your brand.
Well, that's the thing, bro. That's why who knows, Bop Entertainment might be coming along in a little.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, I actually did it. Me and my boy, shout out Ethan, man. This kid is crazy too. I need to get him on. I don't know how I haven't had him on, but he basically like wrote a book before he was like 17, like crazy person. He's gonna be a doctor. But we had a little DJ company back in high school, and it was just I didn't know what we were doing. Like I think we might have talked about this a little bit or something on the other call, but like. We had no idea what was going. Like we just showed up with the equipment. I didn't have any. Like luckily, I had a little bit of a voice going for me, but I didn't know what to say. I would just be like, all right, here we are. And like,
Mm-hmm.
like none of the good mic work that you would expect. And we were like 17, 16. I think he might even been like 15 or 16 years old when we were doing it. But like, so, but that, like me reminiscing about that just like makes me want to start some, like get those little jitters again of going to your gig. And like, this is like, I know you experience this when you're going to your gigs. It's like, oh, I'm working for me, like for myself right now. Like
Yeah.
if something happens with this reed in my sax, or like I forgot it, or like I forgot the cable, the extra XLR on my XLR breaks, it's like, that's on me. And that's a
It's
good
scary,
feeling. Like
but
that's a
it
scary,
is
it's,
good.
it's a good as equally as it is scary, because the more responsibility you get, like almost like the more like the more happier you become at the same
Mm-hmm.
time though,
I
when you put it on yourself.
I agree. And another thing I want to bring up is how I really think responsibility is a really important character trait to have. And as someone who growing up, I always had my shit together and I was always responsible in some way. You know, I got good grades. I always had that clean image, quote unquote, as you could say. But my parents did a lot of shit for me and supported me in so many ways more than I could ever imagine. And I feel like I didn't understand the concept of money or hard work growing up because I had a lot of things handed to me. And it wasn't until, not too long ago that I started paying my own bills. And now I'm completely independent right now. And I'm really happy about it. And I think that there's a level of
Such a
accountability
good feeling though.
and response. Yeah. Gary talks about it all the time, how, if, if you are 22, 23, just out of school, it's totally okay to live at home. But if you're complaining
I'm
about
gonna
not,
be, just so people know.
that's okay.
Yep.
But if you're complaining about something that you want to do or want to achieve,
Like you
um,
can't get your nails done or something, but you're living out. It's like, come
exactly,
on.
like, and your parents are supporting
Yep.
your complaints, like, you're not going to go anywhere. And I learned that the hard way by complaining and then realizing, like, I got to take accountability for my own shit. If I want to get better, I got to do it on my own time. I got to do it on my own time, on my own dime.
And you on your, there you go. And that's a double rhyme right there. So
Yeah, man.
as a rapper, I'm gonna represent that. I'm gonna spot that. But I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna use that in the song now. That's why I got you people on, y'all, to make my rhymes for me.
Of course. I
No,
cannot.
but you do though. It is, once you do it for yourself. Like for me, I paid for school. I paid for about 80%. And I got a little bit of help in community college, but once I went to university, it was all me.
Amazing.
And I might have to take out a loan for like one semester, but I think that might be it. Um, and
So
I've been
good.
paying as I go, and that though, for me, I didn't get to go. I couldn't afford to go out every weekend. I can only afford to, I couldn't buy a brand new interface to record with. I
Mm.
couldn't buy, nice shoes. Like I've been wearing the same Nikes for 2 years. Like I don't, my wardrobe's thrift shop, a lot of thrift store stuff. I'm still wearing some shirts from high school. Like for me though, I said I could have just taken out a loan in the beginning, a big fat one, and then just bought a bunch of shit while I was in school, right? That was a perfectly valid option. Like, so I could have done that. Nobody would have stopped me. But I think just like what you're saying, when you do it all yourself, it's something else. You start to realize like you get, that's practice. That's practice. And then you get out of college and then you go, oh, good thing I practiced this. Good thing I know how to budget. Good thing I know how to do. My friend Nick Gates, I had him on the podcast. We're about to upload the second episode that we did with him. Amazing. But he has a 50, I think it's 50, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10 rule for how he saves and what he does with his money. It's genius shit. But once you start to think about that, like, and you budget and like, you're good, man. Like you're good. Like you don't have to, once you don't have to rely too, it's a whole nother thing.
Exactly. And I'm definitely not perfect, and I'm still
Oh, and
trying
nobody
to
is. And I'm not
figure it out.
saying that I budget perfectly. My money's going down. I don't buy stuff that I don't spend a little bit of money. I don't go to the bar ever. Like sometimes I do, but
You got to do, you know, if your passion is something that you have to spend money on, you're obsessed with, I don't know, going to every baseball stadium in the country, great, do that. If that makes you happy, do it. But if that isn't something, like, I'm passionate about music, but I also like going to Mets games, Jets games, spending money on a concert here and there, going out with my friends for dinner. There's got to be a balance, and that's something.
That's it. I was just gonna say that. That was in my
hard.
head too.
It's
Balance and
hard to do
self-control.
right
If
now.
you can have balance and self-control, like, shit, man, you good.
I know. And I really feel like right now, you can always work harder, but I feel like right now I don't want to spend money on anything else other than my business and growing it. I just I want to work, and, have fun when I want to have fun. And, I'm still doing personal life activities. Like this weekend, I'm not gigging, it's my birthday weekend.
Me either. Yeah, I'm not. I just happen
other
to not be
stuff.
this weekend. I came home just to unwind, to relax. But you know the feeling. I haven't taken a day off in weeks, man. Like, I'm gonna
Dude,
not
that's
answer
crazy.
my work messages this weekend. Like, that's gonna
That's
be
good. You need
first.
that.
Like, yeah, I don't have a gig. Like, I get to actually go. I'm gonna go. Honestly, I think I'm just gonna go sit in the woods and stare at the trees, man. Because, like, that's just gonna put me. That's gonna put me back. I need a reset,
Hmm.
and that's that balance. And then I'll go
Everybody
out for
needs
the
it.
next few weeks, bang that out until Thanksgiving, and then bang that out until the next semester fires up, and then So I think there's this book called Deep Work. I've never read it, but I've listened to some podcasts about it, and it's basically some philosophy of how we get so caught up on these digitals, on these phones, and just everything. Because for me, I work from home, I work on the computer, so I get so caught up sometimes, and I could just watch a quick YouTube video or something. Like, we are so bad at doing deep work, like staying in work for a few hours at least and
Hmm.
not coming out, or staying in for a few weeks or whatever it takes. But finding that balance, it's so easy to get caught up with distractions. Like, distractions we're plagued with them. Like, and every advertisement is pulling at us, and every single thing that happened 2 hours ago, and we didn't text her back, and we didn't, my mom called me before, and there's a voicemail, and like my boss needs me to do 7 things. And it's like, that's all distraction from the real work.
Hmm.
Like, and I
I
think that's
I
hard to
agree.
learn too. And I haven't really learned that well either, or
I
not
know,
yet.
and that's why it's so important to block off time to yourself.
Yeah.
Block off that time. I was listening to, I don't know how I didn't listen to it until literally yesterday morning, but two of my favorite role models to look up to are Gary Vee and Logic. I listen to a lot of Logic. I've listened to him on the come up and everything. And it was taken a few years ago, and the question was brought up of how do you balance your family lifetime. And it was at the time when Logic was married to his wife Jess, and he was talking about how he does it. And he would make a schedule with her and sit down and figure out, okay, I'm going to be on the road these days, these dates, but like this time, this is ours, and we're sticking to it, and I'm not taking anything. And I think that's so important. And
You go
I
crazy if you don't have that.
I know. And I've been really, really, really addicted to my phone over the past 8, 9 months
You and
of my Instagram.
all of us, bro.
All of us,
But the
yeah,
thing
but
is, you got a business on Instagram. So do I,
it's a
to
little different,
an
but like
extent.
still, I can
No, but
definitely
that's a bad
afford to take
excuse. You're
more
right. That's a
downtime.
bad excuse.
I can def I'm not
We can
I'm
still
happy.
balance it. We can still do better. We can still do better. Like, yeah, us scrolling doesn't really get us too much to anywhere with our
No.
business too much. Like, looking at ass on Instagram, like, for real, bro. Like, it's nice, and which I've limited too, bro. I don't follow any model accounts or anything anymore.
Good.
There's that comes back to the distraction of, like,
Yep.
it's so easy to just like see the picture, then go to the page, and then like, oh, I'll do a little
Oh,
scrolling, and then like, oh, is that a video on that
you get
story? Oh, where'd
sucked
that
into
video?
it.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
just like, and then you're in there, and then you
Mhm.
pop out, and you're like, whoa, that was like 25 minutes, dog.
Mhm. You waste a lot of time, but like
Gone.
I used to, I don't have cable anymore, but I used to watch a lot of TV and a lot of movies and stuff when I would be bored and procrastinating, making a music video or something like that. And now I don't really watch as much TV or movies, but I still spend hours and hours and hours on my phone. And in a way, it's almost worse because it's a smaller screen. It's hurting my eyes.
And it's other people instead of fake people. It's real people doing fake things instead of fake people doing real things.
Exactly. I feel like I really want to, if that's something that I can have a New Year's resolution on, it's going to be on my phone a little bit less, which is hard. But it's hard to see a notification. Like, people are texting me right now, and I want to answer now because, you know,
it's dopamine though.
happy.
It's a hit. You're
notification.
It's all your mind. Like, your brain's releasing chemicals right now wanting you to do that. Like, it's both. We are addicted to it at the same time. So the beginning of every year, I take a week off of socials.
Smart.
Yeah. And I'm gonna do it this year. I'm gonna be grinding. I'm gonna be working, but I'm gonna be, listen, I can't manage the socials for a week. Sorry, nothing I can do about it. I'll just schedule the post, but yeah, because I need it for myself. And then I realized at the end of that week, like, damn, I should do a month, first of all. And second of all, we are so addicted to this shit. And it ain't even funny, man. I try to do 2 weeks a year. Imagine that. That's nothing, man. Out of 50 weeks of the year, I'm addicted. And 2 weeks out, I'm on sober November right now. I'm on November right now. So, yeah, I'm on nothing right now, day 6. And, dude, I'm tired, bro. I didn't think I would be tired. Like, at the end of the day, like, I'm tired, but during the day I feel good. Like, just for a detox. But just for my own mental clarity, and I'm fine otherwise. Like, I don't really like abuse anything, but just cause. But for the socials are worse. The socials are worse than booze, at least for me. Like, like if I drink, I might have like 3. Like, if I have 4, that's pretty rare at this point. But if I have 4 hours on the phone, like, that's a lot. But shit, for our society, it's normal. I think the average with high school kids is 6 hours.
That's crazy. I want to look because I was on my phone a lot today. I'm gonna pull up right now and see my consumption. Where screen time. Jeez, 6 hours and 25 minutes daily average. Today is, let's see. Does it say today? Day. Let's see this. 4 hours and 44 minutes I've spent on this device. That is nuts. I mean,
yeah, I'm at like 4, bro.
At the same time, like, we used to be on Game Boys and shit, or Xbox. Like, I used to play video games for 2 hours a night. So, like, I wasn't a huge gamer, but I would still spend time doing other stimulating activities. But so it's changing a little bit, but I'm still not.
Yo, we are so fucking addicted. God damn.
Yeah.
That's whack, man.
So,
damn, I got down to like an hour. I got down to like 45 minutes a day at one point. I was really good about it. Shit, I got to get back. What am I doing, dude?
How was it when you do your detox in the first few days? How was it? Like, do you have those withdrawal symptoms?
What, for the social?
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, it's not. All it is I find myself looking for the app because I delete the apps, and then I go to where the app was and I click and nothing happens, and I'm like, and it takes me like 5 seconds. So yeah, for the first like couple days, it's like I open my phone and I realize there's nothing to look at. Like, when am I going to look at the weather 7 times? Like, there's only so much you can look at the weather, right? Like, and so the only socials I have on my phone are LinkedIn and Facebook, or LinkedIn and Instagram. My bad. I don't have Facebook. I don't have Twitter anymore. I don't have Snapchat. I'm done with Snapchat. Fuck Snapchat. I've said this multiple times, but
what's wrong with it? In your opinion?
In my opinion, are we going to send selfies forever? I don't know. It seems like a huge waste of time. At least for me, it's a big waste of time because all the people that see my Snapchats see my Instagram too.
That's true.
And don't get me wrong, different, like what Gary Vee would say, people are on different platforms for different things. I agree with that. For me personally, I don't need Snapchat. It's a great way for people to communicate with me, but once they see I don't open their shit for a year, they're going to hit me on Instagram, right? Like, people are going to adapt. And are we going to be 29, 34 years old using Snapchat? For me, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't have the ROI for me.
Okay.
But yeah,
That's
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, that's just in my opinion. It doesn't, and I'm spend a lot less time on Twitter. I don't go on Facebook at all, really. And I used these. I was a Twitter fiend, bro, and I used Snapchat like a couple hours a day and did the whole thing. And if I could just limit it to like 2, and LinkedIn's pretty positive, so I stay on there a good amount.
Oh yeah.
The Instagram, I follow only artists on Instagram. Like I unfollowed like 300 people and I followed like 100 artists. So I just have music happening most of the time. Like you said, in the giggers, man, the people doing the gigs, the gig economy.
Fun to see.
Yeah, exactly. But back to the no social. Yeah, man, once you get to like day 6 and you're not on like the reflexivity, like just the automatic anymore, it feels so good. I don't know. It feels so good, man. But then once you go back, you for the next week, coming back, I don't really use it. I barely use it. I get really good at not using it. And then at a month, I use it probably 40% more. At 6 months, I'm like almost back. And then like right now at a year, I'm probably at like insane levels of use. So it trickles, but it always comes back, man. It's like a drug, man.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I definitely do want to try it, but my fear is losing out on a sale, because
that's valid as fuck, dude, for sure.
That. And if I was still on like making, cause my channel used to be called Jason Covers Things on Instagram. So if I was still just making cover songs, there was not much opportunity.
You can check your DMs on Facebook though. So maybe you can cheat or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll keep it in mind.
Yeah.
There's
workarounds
on posts, like,
just get a Hootsuite. It's free. It then posts automatically. True. There's ways around, man. Like it just depends what you want to do. I mean, I did it too, man. And I don't really post during that week. I don't look at shit. People don't care. Nobody unfollows me really. Like it picks right back up. In 2 days, I'm back to the same amount of views that I was at. And because nobody goes anywhere else, just me.
True.
People are barely doing it. Like, unfortunately, I tried to get people. I honestly, and nobody. This is going to be the 3rd year, I think. And yeah, I doubt anybody will do it with me, but I'm gonna keep doing it.
Good for you.
Yeah, that's it, man.
I have one big question for you. Kind of a lot deeper than where we've gone.
All right.
What do you want? I mean, it's a very tough question to answer, but what do you want your legacy to be? That when you pass away, not written on your tombstone, because there's not much written on your tombstone, but what do you want people to talk about?
The impact that I had on them, man. Like, that's why I'm doing this podcast. Like I want, if I want people to talk about something, it's just like, I want them to talk about how I made them feel or the art that I made. And how the art made them feel. Like, I don't really care about like my personal accolades. Like, they don't have to talk about like, oh, we got this job or that job, like that, or the money. Like, that doesn't really get me off too much, man. Like, and that's a great question. And I'm still trying to find the answer to it. And I think I always will be searching for the answer to that. But I think this podcast, along with some other things, has made me realize, like, if I take the time and opportunity and energy that I have and I give it and I try to put it towards other people, then the legacy will just feed itself. I won't even have to think about it, And so I don't know if that answered the question. I think I'm going to have a different answer for you in a year and 5 years and 10 years, and probably a lot better one. But for me, like, it used to be about me, but I don't really want it to be about me as much, because I'm about me. Like, I worry about me. I want to if I have any platform, if I could get one person to watch this podcast and then they listen to you and then that changed something, I want them to talk about that. I don't want them to talk about me. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't know if that's that's like a good answer, but that would be my answer. I'm going to put it back on you though, because that's a good question. You got to answer that now.
That was very selfless of you.
I try, man. And I don't know. And I'm fucking like, and I'm selfish too. And like, I have my own podcast. It's called My Name. I release rap music, and almost every other word is I this and I that and I that. And there's a lot of shit that's about me. So I am a little selfish too, but if I could at least try to use it to be selfless, then hopefully can make an impact.
It's amazing. Answer to that question.
Mm-hmm.
I
So your
think with
question.
me, it's a little less selfless. It mainly revolves around me being a good person. I really want to be remembered that way. Not about necessarily any of my accomplishments, but I've always considered myself a good person and a nice human being, and I want to continue to stay that way. And that's really how I want to be remembered. I want to
I
be
think
remembered
that's
as
such a
someone
that's a
who
goal. That's a great goal.
loved others, loved himself, and really just not necessarily changed the world. And I've been thinking about this recently, that not everybody is going to be a Gandhi or a Tony
Most
Robbins.
99.9% of people are
Yeah,
not. Yeah. And I'm
are
not saying
not,
that I
and that's
want to even. Like I
mhm,
don't even know if I want that.
exactly. I mean, I recently watched an interview with Billie Eilish, and she seems really, really depressed, and it's really sad to think
Is it a recent
someone
one? Because I'd
who
like to check it out.
I don't remember. It's one of those Facebook ones where they did an interview each year back to back. So same questions, but
All
just
right,
a
I'll
year
check it
apart.
out. No, I'm intrigued by her. So
Yeah, I mean, she's an awesome, interesting
she's so
person.
young though. Imagine
She is.
she has like Justin
She'll
Bieber
she'll
fame.
gain perspective.
Yeah, she
Exactly.
has
She'll
Justin
gain the
Bieber
perspective.
fame, bro. She has Justin Bieber shit like him. Obviously, he's gonna drive a Lambo 145 miles an hour,
Yep.
motherfucker. You would too, like
Yeah,
yeah, straight
you don't
up.
know anything better, but no, that's
But I love
what
your answer to that, man. Like you want to be known as a good person. Like I feel like everybody wants it. Like I feel like that's such a like just such a good goal to have. Like he just oh yeah,
you're
he
like.
was just a good guy. Like he made people feel like fuck yeah. Oh shit, did I
Yo,
lose the yeah,
yeah,
I don't see oh
it
there
was
we go.
gonna work.
We back. Good shit.
We're we're
Yeah,
back.
we got it.
But
Good shit.
yeah, no, that's basically it. Don't I used to want to change the world in some way with my music, and that's something that would be really
Yeah,
cool to
I
do.
feel the same way about my
I
music
still
too.
I have a long way to go, and I still think I
We
can be
all do.
doing more. But
It was just the
when
beginning,
I
man. Like
die, am I really going to care if I impacted like I don't know 30 million people or did I impact 300 people? I'm starting to wrestle with the answer and be okay with the fact that I might not influence that many or
yeah,
be
but
of the
some people are
generation
influencing
scared.
zero. So it's like, what's the net positive, bro? Like the number doesn't really matter, right? It's all about net positive. Like
Yeah.
if you impact, like that's why I did the podcast. Like if I can release a clip and it made one person do something differently that made a positive effect in their life, like as an example, I'm just going to use it as an example of my friend Joe Gibbs, who I've also had on the podcast. That's a great episode too of somebody you want to talk a life experience. Holy shit, this guy's like the opposite of us, bro. He's got real life experience and military, the whole nine. Like grew up in a bad area, like and I was sitting with him one day and we were just talking about life. We're talking about our majors and like the next day or the next week he came in and he was like, Sully, like I thought about what we said and I'm gonna change my major. And like I don't even remember what I said to him, but something that I
Somehow
said
you impacted them.
and then he said, you know what, Sully, I'm gonna start a podcast. Started a podcast. He said, you know what, Sully? He's from Atlantic City. He's like, you know what, Sully? I'm going to do a documentary about Atlantic City. Now, him and this videographer, who I also did a podcast with, they're doing a documentary about Atlantic City. So it's like, it only started with one conversation, and that
Mm-hmm.
was just one person. Like, I'm good stopping there, bro. Like, if I had to stop there,
That's
I think
okay.
I'd be good. And
That's
other
awesome.
people have done that for me. And
Mm-hmm.
and so if I could just then do that from one more, and then and like you said, is it 300 people? That's a lot of people because we know that 300 people know 300 people. That's a lot. That's
Spirals.
300 fucking thousand people. That's 3 million. That's 300 million. That's it's all down the
Mm-hmm.
line, man. It's all down the line. It's not about the
I
numbers.
want to add to my I want to add to my answer in being a good person. And one of my goals is to pay it forward to the people who were able to help me out. And a lot of people have helped me along the way in my life and been such a great influence. I have had amazing, amazing role models that have gotten me to where I am today and who have built me up. And I really want to somehow repay them and show them the kindness and help them in some way too, because, or even help people, not just them, but anybody who's going through something. Now that I feel like I'm in a, a good mental place, I want to help people who maybe aren't, because I, I like to think that I am, that could change. I don't want it to change, but I want to be able to help
If
other
you're in
people.
that position, right, you might as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I feel
And
like. Like,
everybody goes
it's
through it at
free
different
for me to
times,
do
like we
this,
talked
bro. Like,
about.
it's free for me to do a podcast, and if it changes one person, then that's the fucking point.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you taking the time to do this. This is
Oh,
really cool.
dude, yeah, I appreciate you coming on, man. Like, and once I saw, like, see, I know there's one thing that I know is when I see people, even if I see you on Instagram, if I just know if you're going to be a good fit or not. And I just knew from the content you were putting, I was like, dude, this dude's energy is just like, it's all there. You can't pick up a sax and do that with a sax if your energy is not like that, So
Yeah,
I was like,
thanks,
yo,
man.
this guy's going to be an episode right here for sure. And another one too, because we're going to come back in a year and do another one. And it's going to be
I'm
crazy to see what our
so
answer
down.
is then too. And we're going to try
Yeah,
to remember to ask ourselves that question.
a lot has changed in the past 6 months in my life, and it's going to continue to
Me
change.
too,
And
man.
I'm excited. Like I'm not really scared anymore like I used to be about the future. I'm
Me
excited.
either, yo.
It's going to happen. Things
It's
are going to
so
happen.
positive. This shit is so flexible. Like, when one thing goes down, another thing comes up, like, every
Yep.
time. Yeah, it's like there's no it's all gray. Like, my friend, shout out for my friend Nick Gates. Again, this is something that is so hard for me because I love control. I think I can control a lot of things in my life, and I think that I've gotten to where I am just kind of because of that. But he says embrace uncertainty, man. I think that's huge. I think we have to embrace the fact that we don't know. And that's hard for me. And I've been trying to get better at that. But I think if I can leave people with something today, and like, other than all the other fucking gold we had in this podcast of like, it doesn't matter if you don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody has the right. Nobody wins that life. And
Yep.
it's not binary. It's not win or loss. It's just go. It's just keep going. It's like what Simon Sinek says. It's the infinite game. It's an infinite game. Never ends.
It never
Always playing the
does.
game,
And
man.
also, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott.
Yeah, classic, man.
Literally. But like
Facts, bro.
that
You
is
can't win
so
the game if
true.
you don't play either. Yeah, can't win a lottery if you
And
don't buy a ticket.
I was always a no person. Like, I'm not gonna. I would make excuses, and now I still make excuses in some ways. No one's perfect, but
Well, you got to
I
know what
feel
to say no to as well, which is huge. But yeah,
exactly, which is hard sometimes. But
and see,
like,
I think that's a years thing. I feel like because the more
like
years we go, the more opportunities we get, so the more
mhm.
things we got to say no to. Yeah, it's
I would
another
have
thing. Shit,
two
I can
years
go off on a
ago.
tangent of that.
2 years ago, I probably would have said no to this, not because I didn't think you were a cool dude, but just
Yeah.
because I wouldn't think it was necessarily worth my time. Like, how am I gonna eventually, benefit from this? Now I don't think about it like that. I just think, what do I want to do?
And
What's
that's
gonna make me
why I
happy?
don't fault. And that's so exactly you want to listen. You want to be happy, man. Like that's why I don't fault people I don't look down on people who tell me they don't want to do this. And there's people who
Mm-hmm.
tell me they want to, and it gets to the day and they don't want to. And I just realized like that's not me. Like that has nothing to do with me, man. Like you came on here, this podcast, and you spit what you live, man. And if you can't spit what you live, it's like being a rapper. If you can't spit what you live, nobody's gonna respect you anyway.
You got to be
So
authentic.
you got to be authentic. So, and sometimes that just comes with time. And
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna be more authentic next year than we think we're authentic right now. Even we're gonna be
Yeah.
even more authentic in 1, 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And and we're gonna do a podcast then too. So that's gonna be crazy. But
Shout out.
but yeah, man, this has been like
Yo.
I think we're at like almost an hour right now. So this has been
Yeah.
crazy. This shit flew by. It feels like 15 minutes to me. I know you got a show coming up tonight. So where can people find you? What's your social? And where do you normally perform? And how can they hire you and things like that?
Awesome. So my Instagram handle is at Jason Piano Sax. Jason Piano Sax.
Show
All
notes,
one
everybody.
word.
Show notes.
Word. That's probably where I'm most active on social media. I'm working on a website. Definitely want to get that up by the start of 2020. Jason Piano Sax Man is Facebook. It's basically the same thing that I post on my Instagram, but if you want to see raw, authentic shit, go on my Instagram. That's where
It's flame, bro. It's flame.
I just
Fire.
I combined my old personal account that I don't really use anymore with my main account, and it's a business account, but it's also me. And a lot of industry professionals, music and acting, whatever it might be, like having every post is a promo in some way. That's just not me. I'm not a very ask person, and I'm also not a very give person. I like to think that I'm somewhere in between. So you're just gonna get my life on there basically, but yeah.
And
In
his
terms
life
of
is dope, though. He'd be playing sax at some crazy places. So check that out,
appreciate it,
folks. Make sure you hit him with the follow for sure.
appreciate it. So yeah, most of my bookings as of now come from weddings. But I also definitely have a few other kinds of gigs lined up. Tonight, I'm going to be at my old stomping grounds for the second time, Scarlet Pub at Rutgers. Shout out to Najee for having me back. I'm going to be playing at a bar again that I used to go out at when I
Is
was in college.
Brian Conklin gonna be there?
He's going to be there.
He's pulling up late, I think, for
He's
a
going to be
DJ set or
there.
something. Yeah.
Hopefully,
Dude,
JP is
should
also
I
going to be
come, bro?
there.
I might come. Damn, I might
Should.
pull up.
Yeah,
I'm not
fun
even
as hell.
drinking. I'm gonna just chill, drink a water, bro.
It's
Who knows?
should be
Might pull
fun.
up to that.
Word.
But thank you, man.
Yeah, of course. And then aside from that, I do some winery restaurant type gigs. Not this coming weekend, but the 17th, I'm going to be in the Quaker Bridge Mall at Old York Wine Cellars. They have Old York Wine Cellars is in Ringo's, New Jersey. And for the third time, I'm going to be playing like a kind of like cocktail hour vibes, chill vibes. They got like a brunch spot in there. So going to be doing that. And then that night, I might even be at a Spanish club in West New York. So we'll see. But it's all on my Instagram.
That's it. All the dates are up there. Yep, everything, all the info. Make sure, ladies and gentlemen, to follow him. It's Jason Piano Sax right here, the man. Hire him for your wedding, whatever you got. He's a killer, man. He's a killer, honestly. Like just in a straight professional too. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast, man.
Thank you, and to everybody who's listening, really really appreciate it. Anybody who's going through anything, wants any advice, or even can help me in some sort of way, give me a tip on how to be a better musician, businessman, whatever, reach out to me. I'd love to talk and connect with as many people as I can.
Same here, guys. Always shoot me a DM. Always shoot me a comment and a like if you can. And make sure to follow him. Shoot him a comment. Shoot him a DM too. We're always talking to people. That's just what we do. I mean, especially myself. That's all I'm doing. So, folks, thank you so much for listening to us talk for an hour. Really appreciate Jason coming on here. As you know, I got to do my typical outro if you didn't already tune out by now, but we're on every single place that podcasts are found. That's Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube. All the music is on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, and even the ones nobody uses, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you so much for another episode of BOPCAST with Jason, the man. I'll catch you guys on the next one.
Thanks, Ryan.